You're watching First Up. I'm Akshita Nandagopal, and let's begin by getting you the latest numbers from the government with regards to the coronavirus outbreak in India. 1,38,845 cases of COVID-19 as per the government. The death toll in India now stands at 4,021. Maharashtra is the worst affected state with the number of cases crossing the 50,000 mark. 50,231 cases of coronavirus in Maharashtra. The death toll also has gone up now to 1,535. Tamil Nadu also has been badly affected. It's the second worst affected state with 16,277 cases and 111 deaths being reported so far. Over to Gujarat also, which their number of cases has consistently gone up. But what's worrying really is the death toll. The number of cases stand at 14,056. The death toll has gone up to 858. Those are the latest numbers as of 6:30 this morning. Here's also a look at the top 5 developments. The Delhi-Uttar Pradesh border at Ghaziabad will be sealed once again from today in view of the sudden spike in coronavirus cases in Ghaziabad. The city has a total of 238 cases. Only people employed in essential services will be allowed. Journalists, doctors, paramedical staff, police and bank employees will not need passes. With some key changes in guidelines for Lockdown 4.0, the Rajasthan government has allowed taxis, autos as well as parks to open in red zones in the state from today. Taxis with driver and 2 passengers have been allowed, while autos with the driver and 1 passenger has been allowed to ply. The state government has also allowed public parks in red zones to open from 7 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. Gujarat has reported 405 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours. Of these, 310 cases were reported in Ahmedabad alone. Total cases in the city has crossed the 10,500 mark. Director Karan Johar's household staffers have tested positive for COVID-19. He took to social media to announce and confirm that 2 members from his household have been infected. He added that his family has undergone a COVID test and have all tested negative. Karan said that the whole family will stay in quarantine for 14 days as a precautionary measure. In a major relief, the 3 lakh crore rupees guaranteed emergency credit for MSMEs announced by the government on 12th May will cover retailers and other businesses. The Finance Ministry sources have told us that the inclusion covers members of nearly 7 crore strong trading community. Our focus this morning is on the resumption of domestic flight services. It was a day of chaos mixed with relief yesterday, and today, of course, is day 2 of domestic flight operations after nearly 2 months. On day 1, 532 flights operated across the country with nearly 40,000 passengers being ferried to their destination. Many flights were unfortunately also cancelled, which led to uncertainty among passengers. Andhra Pradesh will resume its domestic flight operations in a limited capacity today after nearly a 60-day halt. After a day of confusion at the Mumbai airport, the Maharashtra government comes up with SOPs really for air travellers, including a compulsory 14-day quarantine. The government has also made Arogya Setu app a must for flyers and has barred travel from containment zones to the airport and vice versa. Meanwhile, after domestic flights, the Ministry of Civil Aviation gave its nod for the resumption of operations of private jets, chartered flights. SOPs will remain similar to the ones being followed for domestic commercial passenger flights. India Today's Maushami Singh also boarded the Delhi to Lucknow flight and takes you through all the procedures followed at various levels.
It's a big day today as domestic flights open for passengers. We're at T3 terminal and we'll be boarding that flight to Lucknow. You can see I've worn my gloves, masks, glasses. This is all compulsory. Remember, your Arogya Setu app is compulsory to travel, and here the administration and the authorities are practicing new social distancing measures. You can see the security officers here, the CISF personnel. So we'll get you a real ground report of what precautions you should actually follow as we board the flight from Delhi to Lucknow. When we came in through the security check, They checked whether we had a boarding pass. They checked whether we had our Arogya Setu app. And after checking our ID, they let us in. Then we had to sanitize. And then we went to the Indigo staff who asked us whether we had an e-boarding pass as well as a baggage tag. You can only get one bag. If you look at I have only one bag. Only one bag you can carry with you. Clearly you can see that people are sitting, keeping the social distancing in mind. Not very close. It's a silent airport, but much more quieter, you know, that mixing around, people conversing, drinking together, coffee, chai. The hullabaloo is not there.
The experience of boarding the aircraft is hassle-free. Passengers are given headgears to avoid face-to-face contact.
All the airlines were told to carry out sanitization exercises here. Passengers actually all said, and you know, many of them perhaps also cribbing about the fact that they are sitting next to people and no real social distancing is being followed. So you can hear that the air hostess here announcing that the first 2 rows will actually vacate and the back 2 rows will first vacate, and then you will have one by one people emptying their seats. Everybody will not stand up together. This is very rare that you see that even after the plane has actually stopped, all passengers sitting in their seats. So here you can see as the first 2 rows are vacated, then after that the rest of the rows will be vacated, and we'll try and get a sense from the passengers. But these are the Corona warriors who are actually putting everything at stake, their family, their safety, and ensuring that the passengers also follow proper norms. If you look at the overhead baggage, there is not much of a pile-up because usually you see there is a lot of crowding, but since all passengers have been allotted just one baggage per passenger. As domestic flights open up, these are the Corona warriors that will keep you safe. India Today getting you exclusive pictures from inside a plane of how the entire sanitization process is going on in board footing.
Indian skies have opened up for domestic passenger services from Monday after a gap of nearly 2 months. It's safe to say the freedom to fly has come with a new normal, and it is nothing like we have ever experienced before. With Mausami Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Shifting focus to other stories, politics has erupted over Union Minister Sadananda Gowda flouting mandatory quarantine requirement after returning from Delhi and heading to Bengaluru. Congress has lashed out at this VVIP culture, questioning the BSY government for openly flouting COVID norms. Congress in a tweet said, how can Gowda come up with his own COVID rules, and also demanded that the Karnataka government take strict action against the union minister. Now, after the row erupted, the Karnataka government released a predated order which exempts ministers on duty from mandatory quarantine requirement. On Monday, keeping the protocol of mandatory 7-day institutional quarantine aside, the union minister drove straight to his residence after landing at Bengaluru's Kempegowda airport in a flight from Delhi. Now, in another instance of VVIP culture, doctors visited his residence to test his swab sample, even as common citizens wait in queues in government hospitals for the same. Sadananda Gowda, meanwhile, has tested negative for coronavirus.
I come under the exemption list for each and every SOP that will be issued either by the central government or the state government. There will be an SOP, standard operating procedure. There pharma is included. So I included. Apart from that, as a minister, I got myself examined in AIIMS. And I got app also, your Arogya Setu app. And even I was tested, screened in the airport. As a minister, I got some extra responsibility which can be performed not by sitting somewhere. So I have to move around the country.
Many of the categories have been exempted. The medical personnel, the defense personnel, particularly the medical personnel and defense personnel and the minister on duty is exempted. So on that ground, he has come here and is attending. He has come on the duty to just assess the situation. So this is a challenge. It's not that we are above others, or not that we are not above the law, or anything that we come into exclusive category. Nothing like that. We are working in the interest of people. We are in that mainstream. We have to take the responsibility and we need to work.
सदानंद गौड़ा जी भारत सरकार में मंत्री हैं। कानून तोड़ना उनका हक है, क्योंकि भारतीय जनता पार्टी का कोई भी नेता, कोई भी मंत्री देश का कानून तोड़ सकता है। देश का कानून सिर्फ विपक्ष के लिए और देश की जनता के लिए है, इसलिए वो ना किसी को जवाबदेह हैं, ना उनसे पूछा जाएगा।
And we continue getting you all the updates on the coronavirus crisis in India. The city of Mumbai is now second only to Moscow globally in terms of new COVID-19 cases being added every single day. But while COVID-19 cases is slowing down in Moscow, the number of cases are only rising in Mumbai, with the total cases crossing the 31,000 mark. 1,430 cases were reported in the last 24 hours in the city. Total deaths in Mumbai has also crossed the 1,000 mark. After recording 2,436 fresh cases in the last 24 hours, Maharashtra coronavirus cases is inching towards a 52,000 mark, with 60 more fatalities reported in the state. Now in Maharashtra, the death toll has crossed the 1,600 mark. Maharashtra, in fact, has been recording more than 2,000 COVID-19 cases every single day for the last 1 week. Private hospitals have often been villainized as trying to reap benefits from this coronavirus pandemic. So is that really the case? Mustafa Sheikh visited the Jaslok Hospital in Mumbai, and here's what he found.
Overcharging, COVID patients turned away. Private hospitals have been smeared time and again as profiteers during a pandemic. India Today visited the Jaslok Hospital in Mumbai to see how true it is.
Jaslok Hospital is fully functional, and here you see that we enter that hospital to see behind the scenes how these COVID facilities are working. We asked ourselves, for 2 months we were taking all precautions. What is the need to go inside the hospital and cover this story? We are storytellers, and it's our duty to respect the courage of the doctors in Mumbai who are working inside this hospital day and night.
The hospital has a clear procedure to segregate patients based on symptoms.
When the patient comes inside, we see whether the patient is stable enough to be taken time, or if the patient's condition is really bad. If the patient's condition is very bad, we directly take them to ACU. We have a setup here with negative pressure. In that we have 2 beds with special negative pressure rooms. In that we take the patient and we do all the procedures inside with all the COVID suit.
Jaslok Hospital sees a lot of non-COVID patients, and the challenge is to ensure patients with other ailments don't contract coronavirus.
So this is our high-risk holding area. When we feel in the screening, as we told in the EMS, in the screening area, if we see that that patient is high risk, so we'll get them here. So every patient on every floor now, irrespective of the class of the patient, so we are keeping them in separate rooms.
So we are inside Jaslok Hospital now. It's the normal non-COVID ICU area, and we are just about to wear scrubs before we wear the PPE, because the idea is that nothing which you have with you should go out of this premises and to contain the virus.
Nurses in this ward haven't gone home in months, spending 7 days at work and then being quarantined for next week.
हम लोग 1 वीक जहाँ पे हम लोग कोविड ड्यूटी करते तो हम लोग फैमिली में नहीं जा रहे, हम लोग घर यहाँ पे रह रहे। मैंने तो मेरे बच्चे को अभी दूसरी जगह पे छोड़ा है, मैं और मेरे हस्बैंड साथ में रहते हैं। बच्चे का एज 15 इयर्स है, तो वो दूसरी जगह पे रह रहे। लास्ट 2-3 मंथ से हम लोगों ने सेपरेट किए बच्चे लोग को।
There is no one in Mumbai, but Jaslok is like my family, and my father always supported me.
These corona heroes are treating patients 24/7, knowing how many of their colleagues in the hospital also tested positive for coronavirus just weeks ago. But let's address the elephant in the room. Are these private hospitals overcharging patients?
We were never in the scanner of any pricing issues as such. There is a regulation I think everybody will have to follow, and I think there is a standardization of pricing. So I think that falls in place now.
With Mustafa Sheikh in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
So even as cases are on the rise in Maharashtra and the state is staring at this unprecedented crisis, there's no end to the war of words between former allies, BJP and the Shiv Sena. Senior BJP leader and Rajya Sabha MP Narayan Rane met the Maharashtra Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari and demanded president's rule in the state. Rane, a former chief minister, said that the Uddhav Thackeray government has failed in containing coronavirus cases in the state. Rane, who has been a member of the Shiv Sena in the past, also demanded that the army play a key role in improving the health sector of the state. Now, Rane's decision to meet the governor comes in the wake of the ongoing feud between the former Mahayuti alliance partners over the migrant issue.
त्या महाराष्ट्राची कोरोना संबंधीची परिस्थिती जी आहे दिवसेंदिवस गंभीर होत चाललेली आहे. रुग्ण वाढतायत, मृत्यू वाढतायत. माननीय राज्यपालांनी या गोष्टीकडे गांभीर्याने पाहावं आणि महाराष्ट्र किंवा मुंबईत होणारे मृत्यू थांबवावेत या दृष्टीने प्रयत्न करावेत. महानगरपालिका आणि राज्य शासनाची हॉस्पिटल आहे ती लष्कराच्या ताब्यात द्यावी, तरच काय परिस्थिती सुधारू शकते असं मला वाटतं. या सरकारची कोरोनाशी सामना करायची क्षमता नसल्याने हे सरकारला आता नारळ द्यावा आणि राष्ट्रपती राजवट आणावी.
The sports fraternity is in mourning following the demise of hockey legend Balbir Singh Sr. He was admitted in a Mohali hospital where he breathed his last on Monday morning. He was the oldest surviving Olympic medalist in the country and has, of course, many records to his name.
Hockey legend Balbir Singh Sr. is no more. He was 96. Former Indian hockey captain breathed his last on Monday morning. As the news of his death started trickling in, the sports fraternity went into a mourning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the way with his message for one of the finest Indian hockey players. India's lone individual Olympic gold medalist Abhinav Bindra also shared his experiences with Balbir Singh Sr., a role model for generations to come. Sachin Tendulkar also joined in with his rich tributes for the legend. Balbir Singh Sr. was part of the golden generation of Indian hockey and had won 3 back-to-back Olympic gold medals from 1948 to 56. He was the captain of the Indian hockey team that won gold at the Melbourne Olympic Games in 1956. Balbir Singh Sr. still holds the record of most goals scored in an Olympic final, 5 goals against the Netherlands at the 1952 Helsinki Games. In 1957, he became the first sportsperson to receive the Padma Shri, the 4th highest civilian award. He was also the manager and chief coach of the Indian team that won the 1975 World Cup title. Balbir Singh Sr. was the oldest surviving Olympic medalist in the country, and he now passes the baton to Keshav Dutt, his teammate from the 1948 London Olympics. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.